tonight. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. No, Bino, bang. Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat and overdrive. Yeah, chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. No holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the raw, feel the pain. Taking folks in, dialogue insane. Nats on the mat, Vince is vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Catching every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercation. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat and overdrive. Yeah, chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. No holds unbound. Got it.
Thinking over once. You can't rule, you know. You know, I'm with the right.
Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat and overdrive. Chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Taking folks in, dialogue insane. Mats on the mat, Vince's vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, break into night.
What is going on, chat? It is Grunmeister here, and it is time for another episode of Grun's Smackdown Preview Review Show. I am your host, I am the Grunmeister, and it is Independence Day. They meet in the United States, where we celebrate the day we declared our independence from the royal crown, England. Screw you guys. Kidding. Um, it's Independence Day. People are gonna be, a little bit drunk, maybe eating a lot of food, good food, burgers, ribs, steaks, whatever they can get. It is a weekend of celebrating just being an American and everything that we have obtained since July 4th, 1776. Fantastic time to be out celebrating, partying with friends. But also just enjoy the weekend, be responsible. But something that was pretty decently enjoyable was Night of Champions was last weekend. And before we get too deep into that, I got to remind everybody, please tune in to the Monday Night Raw review hosted by the voice Joshua Joseph, co-hosted by myself, the Blue-Eyed Villain, and we have a third co-host or a third member of that team, the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway. You got to check us out. It is always fun. This previous week, we actually got to watch Raw and talk about it live with you guys. Guys, it was a great conversation. Did we obviously have different viewpoints, but you know what? It was just a fun time. You guys need to listen to that when it is uh posted on everywhere you can get podcasts, Apple and Spotify, and you in our YouTube channel. Always check it out there too. And you got to check out the Raw deal with House and O'Neal. House actually had a friend, had a close relative on this week, and you know what? It was a really good show, showing that in the household, well, pro wrestling is a love. It is a sport. It is a tradition. You got to tune in to hear what Little House and Big House had to say about Raw. Tune into the Dear Pro Wrestling podcast, listening to pro wrestlers, the Chaos Goblin Kevin Calloway, world's most dangerous podcaster Paragon, and relentless Ray Larson as they give tips, stories, and just advice on getting into pro wrestling. And then ultimately, you guys always have to tune in to the Sunday House Party because those are always fun. They're always crazy. You never know who's going to show up, and you never know how crazy it's going to get. So you got to tune into that. With that being said, let us try and quickly go through SmackDown from last week because overall it was an all right episode, setting stuff up for Night of Champions mostly, and just really serving a purpose of furthering some stories. Like for example, the show opened up with Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton sharing some trading some words. They would end up having what I believe would be the best match at Night of Champions, which was the opening match at Night of Champions, if I do remember correctly. But yeah, they traded words, and I mean, what would you expect? It was a good segment and good promos from both Cody and Randy. Unfortunately, they did have technical issues for the first 20 minutes. Something was wrong with the hard cam, and so they or the recordings, they didn't have the live recordings from the hard cam for for audiences outside of the Middle East who weren't able to watch it live. JC Mateo would take on Jimmy Uso in a pretty good match. JC Mateo would end up picking up the win with the help from Solo Sikoa. After the match, Solo and JC would begin to beat down on Jimmy. mean, then we would have the United States champion Jacob Fatu come out for the save for Jimmy Uso. Later on, there was a backstage segment where Jimmy saved Solo the previous, or not Solo, Jacob the previous week, and they just both said to the other, "I didn't need to save me," but it seems like these two are having a soft alliance. Nothing concrete, but it does appear that we will see them teaming up a little bit more. And then we finally saw the end of Zelina Vega's Women's United States title run. It was a great moment when she won. Unfortunately, the crowd and audience across the world don't care about her. And and there are some that will say, "Oh, it's because they don't let her be the video game girl." It's like, I don't think it's that, because they've allowed her to do that before, to do a lot of cosplay sort of attire for video game anime characters. The problem is that it's never really gotten her over. The the only time you actually got her over was the short time where you talked about how her dad died in 9/11, which horrible. Unfortunately, it's not a character. It's not a persona. Um, so it didn't keep her over. Puerto Rico, yeah, they had a great reaction for her. Puerto Rico loved her, but at the same time, Puerto Rico, I think they were just happy to get a WWE PLE. Yeah, and they were also happy to see Bad Bunny. They were happy to see Calito. They were happy to see, I forget the other wrestling legend that showed up there to help out Bad Bunny against Damian Priest. It's like Puerto Rico, they were just thrilled. They loved it. They had a great show. Zelina, just uh, she doesn't have it. She's not that interesting. What is up, the Lou in the chat on Twitch? What is up, buddy? Thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you are having a fantastic and not too drunk Independence Day. Celebrate, but celebrate responsibly. Julia is our new Women's United States champion, which makes things can be a little bit more interesting, hopefully. She needed this win. Zelina needed to lose. And I'm gonna be very clear, there is no difference. Okay, Zelina had to lose. Julia had to win. And if it was a no DQ or if it was a disqualification win for Julia, we'd all be mad. We'd all be furious. We're very happy that Julia picked up the decisive win with what is her move actually called? Northern Lights Bomb is what it's called. She hit the Northern Lights Bomb for the win. Now we have a new Women's United States champion. Hopefully this is a good title run and puts Julia over a little bit more, because she didn't have a long stint in NXT, so there is a little bit of concern for me about that, but we'll see. Up next, there was a segment for the Women's Queen of the Ring finals between Asuka and Jade Cargill. Jade cut an all right promo. She just needs more training, more time, more experience. And Naomi would come out, not interfere, but talk smack to Jade. And then up next we would have a tag team match where Andrade was tasked with finding a tag team partner. We all know who it was going to be, and if it was anybody else, we'd be very upset and very frustrated with WWE. He would have to take on DIY with Mr. Ray Phoenix, the Animal. Love me some Ray Phoenix. He is absolutely one of the greatest luchadors performing today. Potentially one of the greatest luchadors of all time. And Andrade and Ray Phoenix would pick up the win in a combination of, wait, okay, so, no, what? No, it was the Mexican Muscle Buster. So WWE.com is now saying that the Mexican Muscle Buster that Ray Phoenix does is called the Black Fire Driver. I I I don't hate the name, but why? There was nothing wrong with Mexican Muscle Buster. No drinking today, says the Lou, but about to go watch the fireworks. Very nice, very nice. I hope you guys have a lot of fun there. Um, but yeah, I mean, Andrade and Ray Phoenix, they've been teaming up some more. Hopefully, they are gonna officially make them a tag team. I don't want a name. They don't need a tag team name. Just Andrade and Ray Phoenix, perfectly fine. Aleister Black would blindside R-Truth with the Black Mass after R-Truth demanded snuck down into the ring to call out John Cena again. So these two are going to have a little bit of a program. Hopefully Aleister wins, and maybe in all this, R-Truth somehow gets John Cena to soften up and grants R-Truth one more match against him. I don't know. I don't know where that's going. I am interested. Then we had our WWE Tag Team Champion. I believe it was, yes. This was for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The Street Profits defended against Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy of the Wyatt Six. However, the match would end in chaos, and technically it'll be a disqualification. However, I can't tell you who it was against or who it was for because everybody was attacked. The Street Profits were attacked, which I do believe the Street Profits were the first ones to get attacked. So it would be them technically successfully retaining. However, it was via disqualification. But ultimately the Wyatt Six were the last one standing. And Joshua Joseph, he mentioned earlier, or not earlier, what was it? Friday, Monday, Sunday. He mentioned that, you know what, this is still a memorial group because the Wyatt Six are still, or at least Bo Dallas specifically, there is still doing things that are very Bray Wyatt-esque. The rocking chair, the lantern, and the yeah. Luke Harper, sure that was a Luke Harper thing, but but you get the point. Like, the Wyatt Six are dangerously close to being unimportant in the tag team division. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully things I really hope things change and things get better because I am very concerned about the Wyatt Six and their future in the WWE because I keep on thinking going back to Sanity. I love Sandy. Sandy was amazing in NXT. Yeah, even the Lou is saying in chat they really dropped the ball with the Wyatt Six. Yeah, they absolutely did. There's no argument why they haven't. They absolutely have dropped the ball with them, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know how this happened, but it did. I am not looking forward to this, but I will say this about the tag team division: Los Garza now has some importance because they are the AAA Tag Team Champions now. So congratulations to them. fantastic job that they are. It's like, okay, at least now they have some semblance of importance. Tiffany Stratton would come down to, actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the previous week. This is the match. This is Tiffany Stratton defending her women's championship against Nia Jax in a last woman standing match. And this, they got pretty brutal. They got pretty violent. And remember, they're in Saudi Arabia. So at this point for this show. So it's I'm kind of impressed that they got as violent as they did. At some point in the match, towards the end, Naomi would come down in an attempt to try and cash in. She never successfully cashed in. Tiffany stopped her from turning it into what I Michael Cole was saying would have been a triple threat last woman standing match, which we've never had a last woman or last man standing match that involved more than two people. So I wouldn't mind seeing that at some point because that does sound interesting. And I think it could be something fun, something enjoyable. Well, and ultimately it would be Tiffany Stratton getting Nia Jax to be standing on the apron, hitting her with Naomi's briefcase, putting Nia through two tables, and that would be the final nail in the coffin, keeping Nia down for the 10 count. So Tiffany has successfully retained her women's championship. Congratulations to Tiffany. She's had an all right, pretty good title run. It's hard because like she was a great heel in NXT. The problem is she got over. The fans loved her. They loved her attitude. Loved her look, her move set, everything. Tiffany was just they had to make her a babyface. He's coming up to the main roster. So hopefully we'll be able to get a heel Tiffany Stratton soon and probably really get to see her shine. Up next was absolutely the worst ending of any WWE show ever. And it was second worst. Second worst. The Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt is still number one. That is the absolute worst ending to a pay per view or any show ever. Okay. This was the absolute worst ending to a live show of Raw or SmackDown or NXT. It was John Cena coming out, talking his smack, saying his stuff, and then CM Punk went word life. This is basic punkonomics. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. CM Punk, like he looked the part, sure, but but he didn't seem to understand that for this to work, he needed to really needed to try and sound like he was rapping. He wasn't rapping. He was saying stuff that rhymes. It's like he it wasn't rapping. It was trash. Like I fully was ready to cheer for John Cena at this moment. I was like, dude, you said this is basic punkonomics. It's like, it's not that. That is not a good rap. It is so not good. And that would lead us to a Night of Champions where Cody Rhodes would become the 2025 King of the Ring winner and will receive a title match at SummerSlam against John Cena. Now, if we've learned anything about this run with John Cena, is that we have no idea what the hell is going on. We have no idea what direction they're going in, and they are keeping it that way. It's going to be interesting. I have no faith that I actually know who's going to win in that match, or well, anything really. So My guess, right now is that Cody Rhodes wins. Maybe, I don't know, because like I feel like at this point, if they were gonna do John Cena versus Joe Hendry, they would have done it at SummerSlam. Survivor Series doesn't make sense. Survivor Series feels like it's going to be Team Cody Rhodes versus Team John Cena, or it's going to be Team Seth Rollins versus Team CM Punk. And again, if you didn't hear, Survivor Series, the official name is Survivor Series War Games, which means there will be a War Games match at Survivor Series. I'm almost certain, okay? Because now you're setting up the expectation that there's a War Games match. WWE, I am saying this loud and proudly. If there is no War Games match, I'm not going to be upset about it because we do kind of miss the traditional 5-man elimination tag team match. Okay? Just give us one of those. Just just give the War Games match a little break because you're doing what you said you wanted to stop doing with the Hell in a Cell match and that make the Hell in a Cell match special. Well, the War Games match is special. So in a very similar way that the Hell in a Cell match is special. Okay, so and you're giving us 2 War Games matches every year. So please stop with the War Games matches. Iron Survivor matches on NXT, don't stop with those. Those are fantastic. They should be special. It should mean something, and they always do. Keep up with the Iron Survivor matches. They are fantastic. They're a fantastic concept that you've created. Um, Up next we had a street fight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We had women competing in a street fight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Um, Rhea Ripley also in the post show was seen in a t-shirt. For those that are unaware, that is not normal. That is not normal for a woman to be allowed to wear a t-shirt in Saudi Arabia. That is not normal. So either WWE and their talent, their employees have received some leniency, or the culture in Saudi Arabia is slowly changing. But regardless, Rhea Ripley would take on Raquel Rodriguez, and I felt Raquel needed to win this. I think Raquel needed to win. Raquel didn't. Rhea Ripley did end up picking up the win, even though Roxanne Perez did bring herself out to try and help Raquel. There apparently was a spot where Roxanne didn't do something correctly and could have seriously injured Rhea or Raquel with the spot. Unfortunately, I barely remember the spot. Match overall was good. It was solid for a street fight, and Ripley picking up the win, the pretty much solidifying that she would be the one to challenge Io Sky at Evolution, which was confirmed on Monday Night Raw. Up next, we had Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. This now, I stand by the idea that Karrion Kross should have won this match. Karrion didn't win; he lost this match, and like, look, I'm happy that they are continuing the feud. I am very happy with that. They wanted to give Sammy the win. I have, and look, this could be, and look, I'm just one guy, part of a group of people that like talking about pro wrestling, and you know what? We all got different opinions. And there are people that disagree with me within IYH that Sami Zayn should have won this match, and she did, and we still got what I wanted. So like, I'm not mad that I still got what I wanted ultimately, and that Karrion and Sami are continuing their feud. Uh, but like I felt Sammy needed to lose here. That's what I felt. That's what I believe. Unfortunately, again, I didn't get what I wanted, but I still did get what I wanted. So I'm glad to see that Sami Zayn did have a really nice finish where He was looking down and out. Carrion was running back to the opposite corner. You know what happened there. Sami Zayn ran right after him, hit him with a haluva kick, pinned for the win. However, there was one spot in this match that I am absolutely furious and livid about, that I completely cannot stand and will absolutely roast WWE to absolute hell for doing that spot. And that is Karrion Kross got Sami Zayn in the cross jacket, the sleeper hold, and the referee raised Sami's hand 3 times, doing the old way, the 3-arm check. You raise the person's arm 3 times. If it falls 3 times to the ground or to the mat, they are out. It's over. Now, I don't remember the last time WWE did this, but I'm pretty sure it's been years since they've done it, because in more recent years they've done 1-arm check and that's it. So they literally changed the rules 1 time for 1 match. Look, if it's just this 1 match, I'll let it go. If it is not consistent from this point forward, that every time it's 3 checks, I am going to have a problem with you, WWE. Okay? Because I get that this program that we watch is not exactly. It's not the UFC. It's not professional football. It's not hockey. It's not any of these other sports. This program requires a little bit more scripting, we'll say. But please make it consistent. Thank you, and have a nice day. Up next, we have the United States the United States Championship match between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu defending his title. Unfortunately, he would end up losing due to the return. I'm sorry. First, due to the distraction of JC Mateo, then to the return of Tungaloa, and finally, because of the debut of one man named Hikaleo, who will most likely from this point forward be called Talatonga. Now, in Saudi Arabia, they did refer to him as Hikaleo. However, it is very likely that they are going to change his name to Talatonga. And Solo Sikoa wins. He is the new United States champion. I felt this was the exact right decision. This was the right person to win. Cannot wait to see what happens with this, because we know for damn sure Jacob Fatu is not walking away from this fight. Up next, we had the absolute worst match on the Night of Champions card. Jade Cargill against Asuka. Now, look, overall, this match was not the absolute worst match ever, but it was by far not good. It was definitely not good. Jade had a mediocrely looked pretty good, mediocrely. Asuka definitely carried a lot of this match as much as she could. The worst part was the finish, where Jade, she hit her finish the way she was supposed to, so no one believes there was any sort of injury. However, when Jade made the motions to put Asuka's shoulders on the mat like she normally does for her finisher, the Jaded, and she pulls Asuka's leg so far back that Asuka's shoulder comes up. You can clearly WWE switch the camera angle, well, almost instantaneously, stopping us from being able to actually confirm that. But it's still the way Jade was seated, the way that she was pulling the leg, there was no doubt Asuka's shoulder came up because Jade pulled way too hard. on Asuka's legs and try and make the pin to believable. Because the thing is, Asuka's a professional, and she knows that in that position, she knows it's the finish. So Asuka would have, instead of figuring out like, hey, is everything going right? She knows her job at that point is to let Jade do what she's got to do to get a good pin. Jade is basically, or Asuka basically goes limp to sell the finisher. Sure. Plus, as Kevin Calloway pointed out on our Monday Night Raw review this past Monday, yeah, he pointed out that if you don't go limp, you can run the risk of injury in the way Jade pins her opponents. If you do not go limp for Jade, there is the risk that there is going to be an injury, hamstring, some sort of leg injury. If you're not letting the other person just do whatever it is they're doing for the pin, and and it, and then it didn't. I think, and then Jade was scheduled to have a promo after the match, and it was not good. I really didn't understand what she was talking about. Or I'm like, this is not good. This is not good. Jade looks like an absolute chump. She looks like an absolute chump. She is not ready. It was at this moment we all really understood why everyone else that has been signed from AEW has gone straight to NXT. It is because WWE are concerned that they might have bad habits, that they might have to completely retrain the people they get from AEW before they can put them on the main roster. And you know what, like, yeah, because Jade, her first off, AEW pumped her up way too much. AEW did no favors for her. AEW just protected all her flaws. And granted, AEW they put a lot of great wrestlers around her to help her uh to help her hit moves correctly and well. But it does seem like they kind of skipped over the basics. And with anything, with any sport, with anything you're learning, if you do not have the basics down, if you do not have a solid foundation, you can't do the advanced things. You can't do the bigger moves. You can't play at a higher level if you don't have the basics down, or play, fight, whatever it is. Like, you need to have a solid foundation. Jade has just shown she does not have a solid foundation, and in all this time, her her foundation has maybe improved a small bit. The biggest thing that really let me down was that Jade, what Asuka did injure Jade's leg early in the match, and for a while Jade was selling it up until she did a kip up, and she did it like her leg wasn't bothering her at all, even though prior to the kip up she was selling the knee injury. And that is unfortunate that Jade made that small mistake. Like, it's not great. Then we finally got to the main event, which was John Cena versus CM Punk, and this was just, some people would say, overbooked nightmare. I think it was. I think if you didn't think it was going to be an overbooked nightmare, you are not paying attention to the John Cena feud. You're not paying attention to the John Cena story. Of course, it was going to be overbooked. Of course, there's going to be a lot of spots, a lot of stuff going down. You had CM Punk and John Cena basically knocking each other out, hitting each other with each other's moves, and then when both are down, Seth Rollins comes out with his bodyguards, Braun Strowman, or I'm sorry, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins is in a suit still. He's like, I'm gonna cash in after my boys do their thing, and then I'm just going to pin and walk away. I'm going to win in a suit. Now, Seth Rollins never actually got the opportunity to cash in officially because you would have Penta and who else? And Sami Zayn would come down to get involved, all to stop all this. And then Seth Rollins was at one point Seth Rollins was calling down for a referee. Charles Robinson would be the referee to come down. He's running at like 80% his speed, he said, and he's just crossing, and just as he crossed into the official ringside area, John Cena comes out of nowhere, the biggest shoulder tackle I've ever seen a referee take. And and Charles Robinson basically sells it like that killed him. It was absolutely insane, crazy. You can audibly hear Seth Rollins saying to John Cena, "You were just dead 3 minutes ago," and John Cena says, "Yeah, and now I'm alive." Like, really, they did that for the fans at home that are going to appreciate that they pointed that out. And like, this is why Seth Rollins is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Okay, I'm sorry, Seth is just so freaking smart. He is amazing. He is fantastic. That's why I love him and John Cena. Okay, they're both the greatest of all time. John Cena would obviously go on to win, and with some actually, there was no dirty tactics. Technically, John Cena never actually nailed any dirty moves. He was just able to finally beat a winded and defeated and out of breath CM Punk. John Cena won. Like we can't. I'm not going to complain about that. I'm happy with that. Oh, what else I'm happy about is the fact that we are going to see Solo Sikoa celebrating his new United States Championship. And he's also going to be introducing us to his bloodline, to his family, whatever the hell they're calling themselves, as well as their newest member, Talatanga. Again, we believe that's going to be his name going forward. It has not been made official, but that has been rumored for basically since he signed with WWE, because he's been under contract with WWE for almost a year or over a year. There is still no Tamatanga, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens when he is clear to compete. Cody Rhodes is said to the king of the ring. Cody Rhodes assumes his SmackDown throne. I don't think we're going to get a King Cody gimmick. I think we're getting close to a heel Cody run, but I think that's still a bit ways off. I think while John Cena is heel in WWE, you need to keep Cody Rhodes babyface. So it's going to be interesting to see what Cody has to say about his SummerSlam opponent John Cena. Jade Cargill makes her triumphant return to Smack. Oh God, WWE, they know they are screwed with Jade Cargill. They cannot have her win after that, not unless they pull some big giant outrageous rabbit out of the hat and make everyone forget about her match at Night of Champions, because that match was not good. It was not. It was so not good. Jade, that was one of your worst performances. I'm sorry. It is what it is, Jade. And then this is okay. So this is interesting. Tiffany Stratton is going to be allowed to choose her WWE Evolution Challenger. That's going to be interesting, because I think it needs to be another veteran. I think, but I'm looking at Tiffany and I'm like, who would she pick? Like, it can't be Charlotte Flair again. Please, God, do not make it Charlotte Flair again. Please, please, for the love of God, no. One thing she could do is that, because she is babyface, what she could do is decide that she's going to try and eliminate Naomi as a threat by giving Naomi a chance to cash in on her by giving Naomi a title match. And if Naomi were to win, then Naomi would be the first ever a Money in the Bank ladder match winner to not only hold the briefcase, but to also guys, to hold the title that she could cash in on, or a title that she could cash in on, like that. I I'm trying to think. I don't remember the last time we had a Money in the Bank ladder match winner who was a champion while holding a briefcase. I don't. I feel like that's happened once. Was it? I I can't think of who. I can't. If was it Seth Rollins? That's right. It was Seth Rollins. What's up, Viking? King. So that is it was Seth Rollins. Was I think the first person? What title? I think he had the U.S. title. I think he had the United States Championship, then cashed in on the Universal Championship. I believe that's what it was. And I mean that's one way they could go. They could go Naomi as Stephanie's challenger for Evolution. I don't think they're going to go that way. They'll go that route. But again, this is WWE, current day WWE, and uh, basically never say never and expect nothing because because there is Triple H. He's 12, 10, 100 moves ahead of us. He knows what we're going to think at every moment, and he's going to keep us guessing. Alexa Bliss, I think, is a likely pick, but I I don't know. Unless there is some big surprise return or debut, I don't see what I don't see where they go. What if Victoria? Victoria's got a Legends deal with WWE right now, and what if secretly she was allowed to wrestle if she wanted? What if Victoria showed up and said, Tiffany, you really want to prove everyone how good you are? Pick me as your opponent. And I am the Black Widow of the WWE. Always have been, always will be. Victoria I would it has been so long since I've seen Victoria wrestle. So I would definitely love to see that. But eh. But yeah, you know how it is. It's probably not going to happen. Um, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with this because Evolution is wait, is that this weekend or next weekend? I think it's Evolution is this weekend. Uh, WWE Evolution 2025 Sunday, July 13th. Okay, so no, it's next weekend. And that is definitely going that should be a really good show. They don't have they have two matches announced for that show. They've got Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship, and then a battle royal to determine the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team. Oh dear God! Ugh, no, Jesus Christ! I'm sorry. I'm looking at this. So according to Wikipedia, the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team title match is going to we're gonna have Raquel Rodriguez defending the title with Roxanne Perez, and one of the three teams that are confirmed to be the challengers is Alexa Bliss and and Charlotte Flair. So then that, well, okay. Okay. Kind of sad that that Alexa Bliss is not a potential opponent for Tiffany Stratton, but I am glad that means Charlotte Flair is not an opponent for Tiffany Stratton. Um, we are going to have the NXT Women's title is going to be on the line at Evolution 2. JC Jane will defend it against Jordan Grace. So I like that the Women's NXT Championship is going to be on the line. Cannot wait for that. It does appear that that one of the matches that was going to happen that is not. Wait, what? Okay. So Wikipedia, like, this is Wikipedia, so take it with a pinch of salt. Wikipedia is saying that Tiffany Stratton's challenger is going to be Trish Stratus. No, no. Look, Trish is amazing and important to the history of women's wrestling in WWE. No, I no, I don't want it to be Trish Stratus. Anybody else? Please, anybody else. You know what? I'll say it. I'll take Charlotte Flair. I will take Charlotte Flair wrestling twice in one night over Trish Stratus. Okay, because no, like Tiffany doesn't gain anything from winning. Like nothing. It's just a feel good moment that Tiffany Stratton beat a legend, who is not constantly wrestling and not constantly trying to stay at her best. Okay, no, no. Okay. Hopefully, hopefully, one of the two teams left to be picked for the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team title match is going to be Sol Ruka and Zarya. That it has to be those two because it's supposed to be a team from Raw, a team from SmackDown, and a team from NXT. So we have a team from SmackDown. Down Roxanne and Raquel don't count as the team from Raw. So there's going to be another team from Raw that's going to be picked. Likely going to end up being Natalia Neidhart or Natalia and Maxine Dupree. Likely, which is I'm not going to be happy about that because while Maxine I'm sure has improved quite a bit since the last time we saw her wrestle, um, they like it'd be like, look, we don't have any other women's teams, so you two are in. It's like it's a participation trophy basically, which sucks. Which sucks for them because it, if they're going to be in this match, we should have a reason to believe they should be in this match. Like they let go of Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, and it's like, are you kidding? Like I don't get it. I don't get it. You guys didn't give these you guys knew these two were a good solid tag team. You just need to give them time, give them something to work with, something to help them build character, storylines, whatever. And they didn't. Well, that is going to be it for this episode of the Grun's Room Smackdown Preview Review Show. Tune in next time. Be sure to get into our Discord. If you need access to Discord, you got to contact one of the. You can either contact the chat chief from the Facebook house call text channel. Contact Alec on the Concept House, Hypocrisy Jones, Kevin Calloway, the voice Joshua Joseph, myself, anybody in IYH. Contact one of them. If they do not have the Discord link or don't know how to get it, they will contact one of us and someone who does, and we will get you the link. We will get you in the Discord because we are trying to get this Discord popping. So please let us know. No, you want in because unfortunately the Discord link it changes every week. And that is just one of that is just one of the things that sucks with being a small being not having a big Discord channel. And if you see if you're on Twitch, I just posted the link there. That'll get you in today. I'm pretty sure it will reset Monday, I do believe. If not, it will reset soon. So contact us. Get in contact with anyone from IYH. We will get you the Discord link. We will get you in the Discord where you can chat with us and help us build this community. Help keep it going strong. Have a good Independence Day. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys next time.